Yes, it's not fried bread, but it's the same ingredients.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another one of our live demonstrations here in the gallery at Andrea Fisher Fine Pottery. I am here today with Wilma Baca Tosa from Jemez, Pueblo. We are so pleased and happy to have you here, Wilma. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Well, it is wonderful to see you again. You've been here for a couple hours at this point.
Yes.
And what have you done so far today?
I've built this pot. First I built a pinch pot on the bottom, and now I'm building it up with coil method.
So folks that are around, you're more than welcome to get close and take a look. There's only a very small section that will be on camera, but it is live. You are more than welcome to ask questions if you would like to. It is no problem on our end. We do these for real, so if they're interrupted, it's just fine. So you've been pinching a pot and coiling a pot today, Wilma?
Yes.
And what is your favorite part about pottery making?
I think a little bit of everything is my favorite part.
Okay,
you know,
so even sanding?
Yeah, sanding, and because it's peaceful, you know,
yeah.
when you're doing sanding, and it's just, you know, meditate, I guess. So I do different stuff every day. It's not, I don't just do this. I can do this one day, just make pots, and it depends what size they are. Smaller pots I can do a lot more than making a big pot, a bigger pot than this.
Yep.
So I just started this morning, so I kind of pinched pot on the bottom of it, and now I'm beginning to do the coil method. So it has grown a little bit more than what I started with. I pinch pot the bottom of it about this much, and then I started my coils.
Awesome. And Wilma, how do you get your clay?
We dig it out, and then we clean it. The clay I have here, it's dug out right from dug out right from the earth. But there's some that we dig out another spot where you have to dig it out from the hill, the mountain, the little mountain.
And do you mix it with anything?
Yes, we mix it with, it's called temper. I temper it with, it's volcanic ash, and I forgot to bring that one, what I mix with, but it's real fine. It's almost like the ash you get from the stove, or if you have a fire going, the ash, that's how smooth and the texture is really soft with that. So I mix it with the clay, the temper and the clay, and then I'll get when I have it. And just to get it to the right consistency is just how much I add of the temper.
Okay. And how did you learn how to figure out what the right consistency was?
I had to test out on my own how much clay to use and how much temper I put in there. So with every like maybe 2 handfuls of temper, I'll put in one handful of clay. So it works for me, but I know everybody else does it differently.
Yep. Do you have a least favorite part about making pots?
Breaking
Yeah, that's
Firing?
about right. Yeah, maybe when it breaks, or, you know, I don't have I guess.
Well, you might, because I do know that you pass on one piece of the job to Aaron, who's
yes.
your husband, so
Yes.
which is helping clean up the
Clean
designs
up
a
the
little bit.
designs a little bit, so
So
they'll
maybe
show.
that is your
Yeah,
least favorite
maybe that's
part.
my least favorite part.
And how long have you been doing this? Wilma?
I've been doing this for over maybe 30 years now, 40 years almost, maybe.
And where do your designs come from?
They're all traditional designs. Mainly what I have, the kiva designs, the kiva steps, the feathers, and I finished them off with a daisy or a star design on my pieces.
So we have a question all the time, and it's one of those is, do you use a stencil? How do you get your designs so perfect? Because you're obviously making a piece by hand, and so that piece is not quite round or straight or perfectly even. So how do you place your designs on the pieces?
I do all my designs. They're freehand, and I use an X-Acto blade, a sewing needle. I break it off. Paper towel.
Would you grab a paper towel, Erin?
I sew it off on this. I break off a sewing needle at the end of an X-Acto blade, and that's what I do all my designs with. And all my designs are freehand. I don't have no stencils, and they're all by just centering by the eye.
Awesome. So what are you going to work on next for us?
I'm going to see if I can just show you from this stage. Then I'll do the sanding and get the rough part out of my pottery when it dries out, and then I'll go to making the top and then to do the bottom. And what I do then is I put sandpaper, and I'll try to do the straight of the pottery on top and bottom, so it'll be just
It'll be as flat as possible.
yeah, flat as possible. So hopefully not crooked. And then from there, I'll do several coats of my slip. So this is the slip that I use. So we dilute this in water.
Does it matter what kind of water you use?
I usually use like spring water, because our water at home is hard. And what I have learned is when I use the water from the faucet or at home, and then the calcium built up in my slip, and when I started doing polishing and stuff like that, and I would fire it, it would pop off my pieces. So I started using spring water. So I'll dilute that and then try to get it in the liquid form to start doing my polishing. So it's several coats on there's several coats on here that I'm gonna so that's one. I'm just gonna do half of it right now.
Well, you could do all of it if you need to.
Oh, you need one?
Well, I don't need you to, but
Well,
if
I can.
you need to do the whole thing at once, because that might be the case.
Yeah.
Then please do what you need to do. Because I know once you start, you sometimes can't stop.
Yeah, because if I do just half, then I have to sand it again and
Start over.
Yeah.
So please definitely do whatever it takes to not have to do extra work. We know how many hours go into these things, and it's an insane number, and so we don't want any extra.
Paper towel.
And question, what language are you speaking?
We speak the Toa language.
So you're Toa.
We're the only Toa speakers in the world. Nobody else speaks Toa. So the other Pueblos, they kind of understand each other's when they speak their language, because it's kind of like some speak Tewa, Tiwa, and some speak Caris. So we're the only Pueblo that speaks Toa. So this is like my third coat now.
It dries fast, too.
It dries fast. And usually, like, if I have this not at the right amount of water in it, and it does crack. My polishing will crack. So I kind of need it to be just right.
Any questions from you guys?
You can ask.
Question.
Yeah. Come on
I
over.
have a question about the slip. It's obviously a rock, so you chip that rock and then grind it up?
So how do you prepare the slip that you're painting on right now?
Okay, from this, I'll dilute it in water, and from there, I'll clean it out and kind of sift it in the finest. I have this a scarf which I'll, put it through, so all the rocks and the sand won't go through. So this is it comes out really smooth. Because if I have rocks in here and I start polishing, then the rock kind of like tumbles within here, and I'll have like a little ribbon going across, which it takes off the red of the polish, what I'm trying to polish. So I do have to get it really, really smooth, where there's no rocks in it or weeds. Because sometimes there are weeds that are left behind if I don't clean it just right. So I've learned to sift it really fine to where I don't have to deal with that. Because if I have like a little root caught in between, and then when I'm done like this, then when I take out the root, it takes off a whole piece. Mm-hmm.
And I see you're using a paper towel right now.
Yes.
Is the oil from your hand detrimental to the slip?
No, I'm using the paper towel because if I touch it with my hands, then the red of it, the slip comes off.
Okay.
Yes, the slip comes off. So I do use the paper towel to just to hold it so I can polish it.
So do you have an idea of what you're going to do before you start the piece?
When I'm working on a piece, I kind of have it when I'm working on a piece, the design comes with it.
In your head already?
In my head already. So I'm kind of like excited, to work with it when I'm at this stage. So I can be working on this one and then maybe this one at the same time, but, just kind of trade off if I need to trade off. So see, this don't stick. So, but I know if I touch it with my hand, it'll come off. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what did they use before paper towels?
I'm not sure. I don't know how they did it, But then long ago, they kind of only polished down here, like this in a circle on the bottom, like right here.
Yeah,
and
so
then
maybe
they'll design the part with natural paints. They'll design the rest of the pottery natural. But I've seen a lot of polishing that was just only done on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. So most of the Pueblos near Christmas time have a ton of dances. Is that true of Jemez as well?
Yes.
So what dances are you guys going to have, and what days are they?
We have buffalo dances on the 25th and the 26th.
And that's for this year, right?
Yes.
Every year is a slightly different date.
No, it's always on
It's
the
always
25th and the 26th.
Okay. Is there a reason why those days?
Well, for one thing, Christmas, and then, but they always dance 2 days. The other pueblos, they dance 4 days.
Okay.
So we dance 2 days, and then on New Year's, it's a selected dance, which they do New Year's.
So this has probably changed hands. It has, yes.
And you've done lots of these demonstrations in a lot of different places, right?
Yes.
Where's your favorite place to go to do a demonstration?
We also do demonstrations at Harvard University in Boston or Cambridge. We go to Boston and we work with the kids and we do coil pots through the anthropology department there. So we usually go in mid-October or November. So we get to meet a lot of students from there that go to school there. And then we work with them through the whole process, and we'll sit in class and answer their questions, whatever they have, questions they have.
So how many coats of slip do you paint on?
Usually, it depends on the thickness of my slip. So I think I'm gonna do like maybe 8 on this one. It's good because sometimes if I add too much water, I have to do more.
And how many have you done so far?
What, the polishing?
You know, with the layers of slip. I
Oh,
haven't been counting.
oh, this one's like my 5th one.
Okay. And do you have any other kind of Pueblo responsibilities?
Yes, a lot. Yeah, we do a lot of cooking for different things that go on. So it's not like, if I'm lucky, I'll do it. There's a whole week that I can work on my pottery. But there's other duties that come that if I need to not do it one day or a couple of days, then I have to put it down for the couple of days that I'm needed. But I think it's like that everywhere where women have to cook and do a lot of things for different reasons.
Do you have any questions? Okay. No worries. So what do you like to cook?
We cook a lot.
No,
so.
no. I'm asking what you actually like to cook.
Oh, me?
What's like your favorite thing to cook?
I do a lot of cookies. They call them bizcochitos too, but we do those, oven bread, tortillas, and pies. Native pies that they use, the square ones. So the paper towel is just used to hold it, so I can hold it, and it helps.
And is pottery your heritage? Do you have relatives that do this? Your parents or?
My grandmother used to do a lot of pottery when I was growing up. Also, my mother had done some, but I think they were more into going to school, then, and their parents telling them to, go to school and, better jobs and stuff like that. So there's not that many potters in Jemez now. that do a lot of pottery. We have sculptors. There's a lot of ladies that do a lot of sewing. A lot of baking. Some sell, bread and stuff like that. So there's different stuff now that the ladies have learned to how to, get money to buy food and for their kids. So
This is just beautiful stuff.
thank you.
Really gorgeous.
Thank you.
And you're Jemez.
Yes, I'm from Jemez.
And I think as soon as she is done with slipping this piece, are you gonna etch?
I can finish this off because I do have to polish now.
Okay.
But it's not gonna take me, like all day. And then I'll do a little etching on this one.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep. Well, yeah, we're so pleased to have you here, Wilma. So Jemez is not a very far Pueblo from Santa Fe as the crow flies, but as the car drives, it's a while. How long does it take to get here?
It's about an hour and a half to get here, but then it still depends on the traffic.
Mm-hmm. But if we were to draw a straight line between Santa Fe and Jemez, it's probably no more than 30 miles.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Over the mountain.
Yeah, over the mountain. Do you have a favorite? Do you watch TV or do you have background noise when you're working?
Yes, I do. I watch TV. I'll watch the same show over and over if I have to. I'll know what's going on. I don't have to look up, but I can hear it,
Mm-hmm.
So I do watch TV.
So what's your favorite show to watch while you're making pots?
Paternity Court.
Oh, yay.
I do Paternity Court, and it's just to hear it, I guess.
Just to have some background noise?
Yes.
Do you listen to music?
Usually I sing in my head or, pray while I'm doing this also. So it helps out,
So what's your favorite music to listen to when you do this?
Maybe 70s and 80s musics, country or rock. I'm not particular of what I listen to. Because when my husband comes home, it's oldies that we listen to. Okay, let's do. Now I'm just gonna let it sit now and then have it dry a little bit. But I do have I use two of these. This one I'll use first. Oh no, what the shit.
And where do you get your polishing? Where'd you get your polishing stones?
When I saw this one, I bought this at a Natural History Museum. Mm-hmm. I don't know what year it was, but I know it's lopsided now because I've used it so much. But it was like a perfect egg. But now I can see it's not perfect anymore. I've worn it out a lot. And then this one is a generation rock that I got. So, but I use both of them. I'll use this one first, and then I'll use the other one second. But just to get it to where I need it. I don't want to do it on my apron because it's kind of rough right here. So I kind of get one of the shirts which is smooth, and I'll just put it like this, and just seeing it how dry it is. Over here on top is still a little bit. Okay.
Is it dry enough?
Yes. If it's not dry enough, when I start polishing, it'll start coming off. So
And you lick the stone?
I like the stone to get this off.
Okay, oh, so a little comes off on the
Yeah,
stone?
so if I don't do that, then I start picking up more of the slip off my pottery. So maybe when I'm like all the way down to the end of the pot here, I'll just lick it and then
Does it taste good?
tastes good.
What does it taste like for?
It's earthy. It's iron. I think it's iron. A lot of iron in it. Okay, I'll go twice, but not at the same where I started. You see that line? Mm-hmm. Then I'll start here where the line is. Then here, from here, I'll pick up the other line.
So is it weird working in a public setting?
Yes. But it's good. It's good. You know, it takes a lot of work and time. And it's good to show.
Yeah, most people don't seem to understand how many hours go into making pots. And that's actually a question that we get asked here in the gallery at Andrea Fisher Fine Pottery a ton, which is how long does it take to make this? And we always have potters struggle beyond belief with the answer to that question.
Yes.
And the main reason is, to answer kind of for Wilma, is that pots are done in many different stages. Mm-hmm. And for instance, on her table right now, she has a piece that she made today. She has a piece that she's polishing now. And she has a piece that is polished already and is ready to be etched. And she has many of those pieces at work at any given time. And because of that, artists are not stampers of time clocks. And don't say, well, I spent 15 minutes on this, I spent 20 minutes on that, I spent 12 minutes on this. And they don't add those numbers up. They just produce pots at the rate that they're producing pots. And because of that, we have really no good estimate on how long it takes to make a pot start to finish. And we just don't know how many hours have been put into anything. It's a lot. The answer is a lot.
Yeah, we should, as buyers, we should be glad we're not paying by the hour.
That's true. You should be.
So I use this one after I use my first one here. If I use this first, for some reason it picks up the red slip. So, but when I use it after I use my egg one, then it's pretty easy with this.
And how much pressure are you applying?
First, I just went over it just smoothly, but now I'm putting a little bit more pressure on it, and I'm trying to go down as try to get all the lines to get smooth. Because once it's dry, it's hard to get the lines out.
So it has to be like a stage of semi-wet.
Yes, it's semi-wet now, but as it dries, it's harder to get the lines out. So it's better to do it while it's still damp. And it's not picking up that much more anymore like the first time I started. So I turn the pot around. I'll do the bottom first and then I'll do the top. But the last one I'll do is the lip, because it's still kind of wet. And if I do it while it's still really wet, sometimes they do chip on the top.
And what do you do when you have a problem, like when the slip chips, or when or you make a mistake in the design?
I usually kind of don't want mistakes.
Well, of course not, but we are human,
But
and you're
when-
doing this all by hand.
But when I do, it's another design.
It's a new design.
It's a new design that comes out.
And do your designs have specific meanings to you?
Mostly I like doing the kiva designs, the kiva fireplace, because I think it's important, the community and how we represent each other's when we're in the kiva, and all the our dancing and stuff that we do. I think that's important.
Yeah, so
So-
for those of you out there who don't know, a kiva is a religious place for Native Americans. They tend to be round. They tend to be set in the ground, meaning they are below ground level. And a kiva step is generally the symbol, which is to transition from the normal world where we are to the spiritual world, which is. And the kiva is their holy place. And the best example of a holy place for us white guys is a church. And we tend to build our churches with towering steeples into the air, because us white guys tend to believe that God is above us and in the heavens. So you want to build the church to go in that direction. The natives, correct me if I'm wrong, Wilma, tend to believe that the spirits are underground. And so they dig kivas to get closer to the spirits. And they'll have a sipapu in the center of the kiva, which is to allow the spirit to come up from underground. Is that basic? Is that the short version?
Oh, yeah, yes.
The really
Yes.
short version?
The really short version of it.
It's the white guy version. Hey, we're honest about this stuff here. And it's perfectly fine. And like I said, we do these demos. They're live. They are not edited. And, it's perfectly fine by us. We love it because they're real. And this is how these things are made. They're made in people's home, and they're made for real. And so we don't want to edit any of them for you out there. So how many times do you polish over the surface, Wilma?
This is my fourth time going around, and now I've gotten to the top where I know it's not gonna. It's okay. It's not too wet no more. So.
And how do you tell when it's not too wet?
Usually I'll put my lip to it, but now that it's kind of polished, I try not to get any water on it now. So while it's at this stage, I don't want to put water on it because the shine will
come off.
Will come off. So, but at that stage, you can kind of wipe it down with just plain water and a cloth.
We don't
recommend
that
it, but
whatsoever.
Yeah.
If you ever need your pots cleaned, have them professionally cleaned.
Because you
do
can
not
scratch
try
it.
to do it at home.
yeah, it'll scratch.
Well, they'll scratch, or the water will damage the surface. Yeah, the best thing to do is a Swiffer duster without the plastic handle, or a feather duster, or a can of compressed computer air, using extreme caution not to turn. Yeah, or a fluffy dog. But if you do use a can of compressed computer air, you use extreme caution not to turn that can sideways, because the liquid that can come out is extremely cold and can damage the piece irreparably. So, but beyond those methods, we do not recommend any methods at home for you to try to clean your own pots. Just leave them be. That's the secret, is just leave them be. No water whatsoever. That's the best way to keep these things as nice as possible for as long as possible. Seems like you're putting a whole lot more pressure on it now, Wilma.
Yes, yes, I am.
That's correct. So there, for those of you at home, here, let me zoom out, do something so that they can see what we've got here. Is Wilma and the desk. Give me 1 second.
And actually, that's not fire.
Yep. So now everybody can see that there's another piece that is on the desk that is on a nice orange cloth, and that piece has, correct me if I'm wrong, Wilma, it has just been finished polishing. Is that
Yes.
correct? And nothing else.
Nothing else.
So the piece that you have in your hand will look like that one with a few more layers of polishing.
Yes.
Yep, no problem. And then the piece is ready to be etched. Do you have to wait a little while for the piece to fully dry?
Yes, I usually wait a day or two before I start. Yesterday I had the fire going in the kitchen, so when I finished my pot, I set it near there so it would dry to bring it today, so I can work on it.
It's amazing how many different processes exist for producing the things that are in front of us. And the best part about that is, in my opinion, is every single person has the same tools that that every other artist has. I mean, it's basically a rock. It's slip, which is watered down clay. It might be a sharp instrument of some sort, or it might be a paintbrush, some that are made, some that are purchased, but it's a paintbrush nonetheless. But every single person who is out there has such a different look than the next person that is out there. And because of that, I just think it's wild. I mean, we all have our own personalities, and they all come out in everybody's pottery making.
There's an area called George County in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And there's a potter there who etches with a golf tee.
Okay.
It just fits her hand just right. Mm-hmm. She always uses a golf tee.
Yep, and there is always, a favorite spoon or a favorite scraper or a gourd that was, or a butter knife that is bent a little bit to the right shape. All the tools are effectively the same that are out there. And sure, a golf tee works great if that was what works for that artist. But we love that everything is made by hand and for real.
This stuff.
So when you do your demos at Harvard, how long do they last?
I'll do one demo, and then usually we have a class the day before, which we can talk about like all the pottery and stuff. But the second or the 3 days after that, we have students build pinch pots. So it takes 3 days to get all of them done, and then they usually get them fired there at Harvard. Mm-hmm. So, but they're not painted or, they're just done.
They're just plain.
Yeah, plain pinched pots.
And how old are the students usually?
I'm not sure, maybe. Some of them are seniors there that take the class. I guess it's required for them to take it before they graduate. So we have all kinds of ages, like from freshmen to seniors.
So it's all high schoolers?
No, it's college.
Oh, college?
Yeah, the
Okay.
university
Oh, okay.
there.
So it's all college kids?
Yeah, all college kids from all over the country. So we get to meet a lot of the students there.
It's starting, for those of you out there, you can kind of see that it's starting to look almost like the color of the one that is on the table on the orange. It's getting there. So is there any questions that you're asked really often about pottery making?
I think mostly everybody asks how long it takes me. And then, like what we said, not all of us have a time, to where we know how long it takes.
And typically, how many pieces do you have that you're working on at the same time?
I can with polishing, I can polish at least a little bit at a time. Maybe like I can do 2 or 3 at a time.
So I see you're putting lotion or something on your hands?
Yes, I'm putting Indian lotion on.
Oh, okay, I know what that is. Do we want to tell the world what that is?
No.
Okay.
Can you buy it in the drugstore?
No.
You can buy it in the grocery store.
Yes, you can buy it in the grocery store.
Comes with chicken or steak or something.
Okay, so I'm just gonna let that alone for a bit.
Do your hands dry out working with the clay so much?
I don't have a problem with that. I don't know why, but I know a lot of other people, they tend to say that, about it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure why, but they do dry a little bit, but not as much as I've seen other people hands dry out. Done with this.
So you just put a wet towel on the top of
On
that
top,
piece
so it won't dry.
as fast.
Yes, as fast as, because I still need to work on it at a later date.
If you have any questions, just shout. We're happy to, we'll ask them to Wilma. Or if you have questions, that's just fine. Yes. And I think she's going to start etching for us here shortly.
Yes, shortly. Trying to get my hands dry.
So where do you work in your home? Is it like your kitchen table?
Yes, my kitchen table is my work area. I know a lot of people have studios and stuff like that, but I think mainly everybody at home has their own kitchen that they do their pottery in. Because I don't see a lot of studios. It would be fun if they built the studios and have us, rent them out or something. But we don't have studios at home. We have kitchen tables.
And I noticed the piece that's on the table. Here, I'm going to show this to everybody who's at home. The piece that's on the table, the one that you just polished, which is closer to the center, closer to Wilma, is not quite as shiny as the piece that you're about to
this
start
one.
etching. So how do you get the shine before you begin the etching? Or just it has to dry fully?
Yeah, I'll dry a little bit and then I'll start on it again. I'm trying to help it dry.
Oh, it's all good. Oh, do you need to do it? Do you need to continue to do it in order?
Yeah, let me just finish this, then I can do that.
Yeah, of course. Yep. So for those of you out there, we do have a dog who's been in the gallery for 12 and a half years, and he is currently asleep at the bottom of all of the cameras. That's what he does, and he's the producer, he's the director, he's also the head of security.
Yes, he is.
And it's really fun to be able to have everybody in the shop, from the natives who make the pieces to the tourists from all over the world, to the locals here who in some cases know a ton about pottery, others who know nothing, and the tourists who generally don't. There are some that know a whole lot, but most know very little. So it's really fun to have the whole wide variety of knowledge and locations and all that stuff here in the gallery.
And the buddy that don't bother the pottery.
Yeah, and the one dog that doesn't bother the pottery. For years we had 2 dogs in here, and neither of them, even though when they were wrestling in here, didn't bother the pottery either. So of all of our employees, the 2 dogs are the only ones that have never broken anything.
Wilma, tell us about the stone that you're using to shine.
She's good. Yep. So
The one I'm using is an egg shape. I bought this at a natural history museum. It's not that egg shape anymore. I've used it so much, it's kind of losing. You see here on top where I use it often, and here on the bottom where I haven't really used it yet.
Is it really a stone?
It's a obsidian.
Obsidian?
Yes. Yes, it is. It's a stone. I think it was polished, but I had to get it worn out to where it can really do the job really good. Because when it was, I just bought it, it was really shiny, like on the bottom I have here.
Yep.
So it would pick up my slip. Yeah, so I have to wear it out. Now it's just right.
What museum, where did you find it?
The Natural History Museum in here in Albuquerque.
I see.
I was also a bus driver. So I take the kids over there. So one year I found this rock sitting there and I bought it. But I had already been doing pottery then, working and doing pottery at the same time. But that's when I bought my rock. But all the other rocks that I have, they're river rocks. I have the smaller ones here. I have the river rocks, and this one's
obsidian?
handed down.
Are they obsidian also?
I'm pretty sure because that's the only rock that's really this color. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
You can cleave obsidian and make an arrowhead. It's an interesting stone.
You find arrowheads like that.
Yeah.
yeah, it's starting to look more and more like it's ready.
Like you're
It's
making
getting
it-
there.
You're making it sing.
Mm-hmm.
Wilma.
Yes,
And there's a sound that you can actually hear that the pot's making.
Really? That's interesting. So your wrists are nice and strong, aren't they?
Yes, I hope so. They're still strong.
She was a boxer too.
She was a boxer.
Keeps me in line. This side, that's why
Do you do any pottery also?
I do a little bit, not too much, but I help her out with all the stuff that she does.
So when is Wilma going to put your name on the bottom of these too?
Whenever I'm not around anymore.
Is it taboo to have more than one name on a piece of pottery, Wilma?
I don't know. But I do have him down there, but he doesn't know it. I signed it up for
Yeah, she says they got my last name, so I'm on there.
Yeah, you're on there.
Both on there, her maiden name and my name, last name. Tosa, yes.
And so, an interesting kind of aside, Maria Martinez, the first person to ever sign her pieces, somebody told her to start signing the pieces Marie because it sounded more native. And that was her very first signature starting in 1922. It took her 4 years to realize that she should probably put her husband's name on it as well. Her husband, Julian, was doing all of the decoration of the pieces. So Maria was the potter and the polisher, and her husband was the decorator and the firer. So it took 4 years for Julian's name to get on the bottom of pots as well, even though he wasn't really, or even though she, he was involved from the beginning, which is super fun.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
So the turtle in the case was made by Tony Day. Tony is Maria's grandson.
And Marvin is her great.
Marvin.
Correct. Either great or great-great.
I think it's great.
Well, Marvin is the son of Viola. Viola is the son of Santana. Santana is the daughter-in-law and married to Adam, so 4 generations out.
Right, and Marvin's son, Marvin Lee,
Yes.
is out there now too. So
Correct.
We actually have another one.
I've never seen it polished before. It's very interesting.
See right here? This is kind of drying a little bit faster. Some parts dry a little bit faster. So what I do is I'll just get my own,
You'll add a little extra.
add a little extra on it. And then it'll go back to where,
You put your sweat into
not my sweat,
your oil?
my oil.
But in this day and age where everything is machine made, to watch somebody still do this kind of handwork by hand is just
And what's even more amazing is every single thing in the entire gallery is made by hand. There isn't one thing in here that is coil built or is wheel thrown or cast in a machine. Every single thing is coil built.
it's extraordinary.
If anybody wants to get closer and take a look, that's no problem. Yep, and if you have questions, just yell them out.
I think different people have different method of polishing too. Remember the one time I came in and what's from San Domingo, he was here.
Thomas Tenorio.
Thomas Tenorio. And I saw him polish a pot and he was using socks, remember? Yeah, like the socks we wear, but it's a particular kind of socks.
What is the stone that you're using?
Obsidian?
Obsidian?
Yes. So there's different people that do different kind of polishing, use different kind of stuff that they polish with. I saw that, I was amazed, but he was using socks.
In some areas, rag polish their pieces versus stone polish their pieces. And it has a lot to do with the consistency of the clay. So some areas have grainy clay, and because they have grains in them, stone polishing, like Wilma is doing, really doesn't work. Because what happens is any little grain or imperfection will come out and tear the surface apart if you over polish the piece, which in this case it would be over polished if you're doing 5, 6, 7, 8 layers on all sides of polishing. So for instance, Acoma has extremely grainy clay, and they polish their pieces once and very, very, very quickly. With a stone, but still very, very quickly. They don't do any more than that very one layer just to kind of make the clay become one. Whereas Wilma, who does her pieces that get this incredible shine to them, has to do it over and over and over and over again.
How much time would you spend on a pot like that size?
So the question is how much time would she spend on a piece of that size? And the answer is that we don't know. And Wilma doesn't either. And I'm just answering for her because
Yes.
we had this question before.
How long?
But that's fine. We don't know. Artists are not keepers of time. And so what they do instead is they have many different pieces that they're working on at the same time. So for instance, on the table right now, we have 3 pieces that she puts one down and picks one up and puts one down and picks one up. And so we don't actually know the answer. And we've never actually had a potter be able to answer that question, even though it's perhaps the most common question asked.
So we kind of just guess, you know. So,
It becomes a way of life.
Yeah, it does. And the answer is a lot.
Yeah.
But how much is debatable.
okay.
No worries. So you guys are more than welcome to come take a look. This is Wilma Baca Tosa from Jemez, Pueblo. She's making a pot by hand. Right now she's polishing a piece. So in the beginning, she made a piece by hand. It's the one that has the paper towel on the top. There are no tools used except for her hands. Then she has she brought a piece that she had already let dry, sanded down to the size, and made so that it's as close to round as possible. And then she covered the piece in slip. Slip is watered down clay. In this case, it was an iron oxide. And then now she's using a stone to polish, basically push that slip into the surface so that she has a beautifully shiny piece to begin her intricate etching work. So the piece that's on the orange is what that piece that she has in her hands will look like. And then
Okay,
she
I'm
will.
done.
Oh, you're done.
Yes.
And then she will etch the piece, and when she's done etching, they look like this, and then the piece is fired.
No, it's not fired yet.
And they're all etched in. Everything's done all by hand, all the hard way. What's the question? So she uses a combination of tools. One is a pen knife that she uses for the straight lines, and the other is where she inserts a sewing machine needle into a little handle so that she can cut into the design perfectly. Everything is all done by eye and the hard way.
Do you like grid it out first?
Grid it? What do you mean?
Do you like draw grids?
No, it's
You can get it.
I do it all by sight. Yes. So I don't use no stencils or nothing to do my designs.
That's incredible. It's very even.
But I
would go like this.
You're so very welcome.
yes.
How long would it take her to do that?
So we've actually had that question about 6 or 7 times in this one. No artist knows the answer to that. The reason is everything is done in different stages, and so you can have one or you can have many pieces going at the same time, and artists don't keep track of that.
Do you know what you're gonna do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all up here before
Yes. Before I start, even while I'm at this stage, I can.
you already know.
Yeah, picture or it just comes out. I guess.
It's intuitive.
Yes. So, like me and the pot are one. So,
Yeah, she's etching.
Well, etching.
Yeah. Well, if you're drawing on it, then you would be painting the design.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Touching. Okay. She makes scratches in it.
And you are welcome to go around and right next to Wilma. That's no problem. Take a look and see what she's doing.
Very good eyesight.
not anymore. I used to not wear glasses.
See her wheel? Her hand wheel.
Yeah. It's incredible.
So when I'm doing this, when I'm at this stage, I'm always blowing on it. So I can, all the excess of the red slip,
Yeah.
so it can go away because if I have it close to myself while I'm doing it, I can blow it away.
Yeah. And see
Yeah.
see what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or it won't scratch, so it won't scratch it too. You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
How old were you when you learned?
I was 5 when I started doing this first. Just making little ashtrays or canoes, even though we didn't know. I mean, I guess we knew by pictures what a canoe was.
But it's not.
So it wasn't our thing,
Yeah.
but we knew the canoes, and we built horno ovens, you know, things like that. And even like we used to have, you know, told people you can use that as an ashtray, because the funny thing about it is if you have it down like this and it has that little hole, so if you put the rest of the cigarette on it, then the smoke comes out of the hole. So that's what we usually we did, the horno ovens and stuff like that. But I just line it up, and, from here to here, it's all by sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I do.
Oh, you can have him. You guys are the same color.
Yeah, it's a nice dog.
Beautiful art form.
Go on, bud.
Do you want to go see the stuff next door and then come back and see what she's done?
Go on.
Or you just want to watch? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
So once you start this etching process, about how long does it take you?
If I do this all day, I'll finish designing the whole pot. But
Except for Aaron's part of
except when I have to get up and cook for my husband.
What do you like to make, food-wise?
Fresh tortillas, of course, and then maybe potato stew or something. Those are easy to do. Unless I make a meatloaf in the morning and then just cook it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of green chili stew.
Yes. You like hot or mild?
I like both.
You like both?
And actually, that's my secret for my green chili stew is I use some hot chili and I use some mild chili. And the reason is you get some heat and you get a whole lot of flavor because you get the mild that really
Yes.
flavors it up.
Yes,
That's my
I
personal
like-
secret for green chili stew.
I like doing that too.
But yeah, I have a 5-ingredient green chili stew that is incredible. Takes a couple days to make. It's really wonderful to watch these things being done by hand so you can get an idea of what they are. Because we usually just see the end product because most of these things are created in people's kitchens. Because most people don't have studios.
No, most people don't have studios.
You're fine to take a look and get closer if you want. Yeah, give me about 5 minutes if that's okay, and then I'm going to end this live show that we're on YouTube, and then I'll be able to assist you. If not, there is a lady that's over there. Her name is Michelle. There's also a young man. His name is David. Both of them. If I'm not available, will be able to help you. Okay. Michelle's. Yep. Either or. Everybody here is all the same. In more ways than you can imagine. Yep. Well, not really. Everybody knows what they're talking about. Well, I think since we got some etching done, we got polishing a piece done, I think that we're going to end the live show for YouTube. We want to thank Wilma for being here. It is always a pleasure to have you. It's always a pleasure to see your new work. You brought us a couple new pieces today.
Yes.
So hooray. If anybody out there would like any of her pieces, our website, www.andreafisherpottery.com, has all of Wilma's pieces all listed. We do ship double boxed, fully insured all over the world. And it has been an absolute pleasure having you here today, Wilma.
Thank you, Derek.
Yep, and it is my
Thank you.
pleasure hosting and all
Yes.
that other good stuff.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, you're so very
Happy
welcome.
holidays.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy everything. Everybody out there, please take care.